him is to factually tell the story. And so as a result, we don't know who killed John Kennedy. It's up there on the, our exhibit says who done it. We don't know. We lay out some of the major conspiracy theories, but we don't take a position. We're always trying to, try to say, walk a middle ground here. But it has been, on occasion we get calls and say, why don't you just tell the truth that Oswald did it? Why don't you just let go of this conceit that somehow there's mystery to it? And in our position, there is mystery to it.
Of course there is. I don't know a news guy in the world who wouldn't give anything to be able to break this story. How this remained all these years. You think about it. There's a Watergate connection here. That's the same crowd. Do I know it? No, I don't know it for sure. But am I about 99% sure of it? Yes.
I'll show you a map upstairs. That one of the chill moments for me was when I first started working here and researching things. If you draw Oswald was put out at the rooming house in Oak Cliff where he lived.
Yeah, right.
And he started walking, which was south.
Right.
Down, and he got to the intersection Patton and 10th where he shot Officer Tippit.
Right.
If you keep drawing that straight line, because at that point he turns and goes west to the Texas Theater. You go that straight line, you hit Jack Ruby's apartment. He goes about 10 blocks, halfway to Ruby's apartment if you go straight. Now if you turn, and you start the other way, you obviously go to the Texas Theater. So it's just, there again, it's one of those moments you go, where was he going? Because obviously you don't walk this far.
That bears out my feeling that the two of them knew each other. I have no doubt.
I'm sorry, go ahead. Go ahead and finish your thought.
Well, do I know any more than that? No. I wish I knew more than that. Would I have loved to have been the guy who broke that story? Did I think we had it? The guy who was working with us was the attorney for the Republican senator who Nixon said you don't want to know. Nixon knew a lot. I think Lyndon Johnson knew a lot. I think, there are people who think Lady Bird did it. Lyndon Johnson put Allen Dulles on the Warren Commission. I think to kind of calm the country down. I think they thought if the truth ever comes out here, we are ripe for a revolution. And I don't think they could take that chance. And I wonder, well, somebody like Michael Beschloss would have turned it up, if there isn't anything in the Lyndon Johnson library that sheds light on what he might have known.
There's a quote upstairs where Johnson in 1971 was interviewed by a monthly magazine. And, he was at that point, the hair was down on his collar and over his ears.
Yeah, right.
In his descent, as it were. He said, I can believe Oswald pulled the trigger, but I never believe he acted alone. So Johnson says this in 71 in this kind of, not rumination, but this is what I think. I mean, that clearly Johnson's point of view was the Warren Commission report was important for the very reason you specified. Get it out there, say it was one guy.
And then later on
we'll sort it out later.
Right.
But
now, is there anything in Connolly's papers?
Nothing substantial in terms of the Connolly and Nellie. I've toured Nellie.
Yeah. Is Nellie still alive?
Nellie's still alive, lives outside of Austin. And when I took her through 10 years ago, I had a bruise on my arm for 3 days where she held my arm because of the intensity of it. And she said, we always believed it was something else. We didn't know what it was. But, that Nellie thought it was 3 shots or 4 shots. And there was lots of confusion, certainly. But they were there.
Yeah, sure. Now, Nellie, I think Connolly at the time said there was more than 1 shot.
Before the House Select Committee, they both said that they thought there was a 4th shot.
Now, somebody, I'm trying to remember who, ran a mock trial in which evidence was given that seemed to stand up that there were shots fired from the grassy knoll. And I'm trying to remember.
Well, the House Select Committee's finding was the probability of 95% there was a shot in the grassy knoll. And that was the finding. That later there was challenge to the acoustic restricted,
Except
that's being challenged
that
again.
the shots from the grassy knoll, they claim, somebody explained this to me once. They say if there were shots from the grassy knoll, there would have been a bullet not in the back of the head, but in the front of the head. And then somebody raised it. Yeah, suppose the car had already gone past the grassy knoll and the shot went into the back of the head.
Contradictory.
Yeah. That's it right out there, right?